Why is the star method not perfect? And so we'll answer this question in two ways. I think one, I'll talk about why I think it's not great, and probably what's a better approach to answering questions about how you worked on projects. So let's first define what the STAR approach is, right? So you talk about the situation, you talk about the task, you talk about actions, and then you talk about your results. And some very successful firms love this method, and there are a lot of firms who I call copycats who simply copy the approach without giving it a lot of thought. They say, okay, hey, there's this large firm who's using it, so I think we should just use it too because they are successful. Now, the biggest issue I have with this specific approach is the task and action part. So, if you think about it, by definition, your list of tasks should guide your actions, and they should be highly correlated, if not exactly the same. So, you should be able to explain this as the same group. So for example, I would in my opinion, I would say that the task and action should actually be one and the same thing. It should not be two specific completely distinct and separate points. So if there so and again, if there is a disconnect between your tasks and actions, it indicates there's not a lot of thought that's gone to into the planning phase. And as the saying goes, failing to plan is planning to fail. So, the counter question would be, what is in that case a better approach to answering questions about how you worked on projects and stuff like that? I'd say definitely define the business problem. What was your approach to the solution? What tools and technologies did you use? What challenges did you face, and how did you overcome them? And what benefits did the business realize, and how did you track them? So not that, hey, we just realized $5 million worth of benefits based on the project, but how do you know that? I mean, can you prove that? So how did you track the benefits to this specific project? So, and I've spoken about it a little bit in detail about this specific approach. If you look at the question that says, give me an example of a project you did in a specific space, so I talk about that a little more in detail, so you can take a look at that video as well. That said, there are sometimes a company prefers the star approach, and if that's the case, definitely, go with answering the question from the star approach perspective, because the last thing you want to do is commit interview suicide. Okay, good luck.